much less opportunity to go travelling, so we've been doing some short trips up to Palmerston North and Wanganui, Wairarapa, Wellington and places like that. So today we're going on another trip to the Wairarapa, have a look around Masterton, Featherston and Carterton and Greytown. Yeah, so it should be good. We're looking forward to just getting away and enjoying the scenery.
So 5 minutes ago we were in the sunshine, now we're on the top of the Remutakas and it's just all cloud and mist and got quite cold. No snow on here at the moment, but there will be on the Tararuas as we pass.
Well, there's quite a bit of traffic today. There they go. Wow. First stop is Featherston, which is noted for being a military camp in the Second World War, and there was a PO war camp here too.
And many of the old shops are just as they were back then, but converted to other uses. So we saw 3 bookshops and made a purchase.
Yeah, lots of oddities and delights here. You're one of the delights.
In the end, we'll all become stories. On further exploration, actually there's at least 5 bookshops, maybe more. This one invites you to go and poke your nose in.
They call Featherston New Zealand's only book town. And you can take the train to get here. Even better when you've got a gold card because it's free. This is a memorial for the camps, and there's really not much left of them now. They closed the main one down in 1918 after the end of the war. Featherston Camp was New Zealand's largest training camp during the First World War, and about 60,000 young people trained here. And then they went off to the battlefields in Europe between 1916 and 1918. And here's all that remains of the Japanese POW camp from the Second World War.
The Japanese prisoners were brought here from the Pacific Islands mainly, and they settled here and they needed that to work. But there was a big uprising in 1943. Unfortunately, the soldiers fired and 31 were killed instantly and 17 died later, and 74 were wounded. There were 800 prisoners here at one time. It was a very sad bit of New Zealand history. So to memorialise the Japanese prisoners, they've created this beautiful garden, which in the spring I can imagine these are cherry blossoms and it's beautiful. It's the winter at the moment, but it's a fitting tribute and very Japanese.
We're now in Greytown, and its main claim to fame is the Cobblestone Museum, which is a heritage little township really, trying to display what life was like in rural New Zealand in days gone by. It's great that these kind of historical sites are maintained so that the way that people lived in the past is remembered. And in Greytown there are lots of craft shops, specialty shops. Somebody's made this, isn't it beautiful? Wow. And they're having a special midwinter Christmas lights here too. Something special for the township. All the shops have got lovely displays at the front. Christmas lights. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Nice to have Christmas in July, eh?
Yeah, and in half an hour that sun is going to set and then it will come alive.
Christmas lights.
Yeah.
It's nearly dark at the moment, and we're just wasting time while it gets totally dark so we can see the Christmas lights. Very nice.
Very nice.
So now we're in Carterton, and this is Memorial Square. Tried to recapture their war history, like so many of the towns throughout New Zealand. Carterton's much bigger than Featherston and Greytown, and they're trying to make themselves unique with these lovely wall murals. Some nice elderly ladies.
They're called Heavenly Chorus, and I think they got my likeness just right, don't you think?
Definitely. And they have a fantastic second-hand shop. All sorts of collectibles. And this is Charles Rooking Carter, the founder of Carterton. He lived in between 1822 and 1896. And Carterton's a place where you can certainly sow your wild oats. Or you can eat them.
So Charles Carter is actually quite well known in the Wellington and Wairarapa area. He was a politician, a part of the General Assembly. He also owned a lot of land, and he helped to build this city and this little town in particular. And when he died, he left a lot of his estate to what is now the Carter Observatory, and that's where the link is between who Carter is and Carterton.
Most of the Wairarapa is quite flat and rural because it's underneath the Tararua Ranges, but it's beautiful farmland, as you can see out here. We're now in Masterton, which is the biggest city in the Wairarapa by far, and this is Joseph Masters, who was instrumental in founding Masterton. He was a very humble man. He used to write to the newspaper all the time saying, with a pen name, a working man. He was born in 1802, and he came to Tasmania first, then to Wellington, and then he was farming up here. He was a cooper and a ginger beer maker, but he became quite wealthy. He was very instrumental in caring for the poor, which is what the idea of this young lady here is, who is doting on him and saying, "Thank you, Joseph Masters, for caring for the poor." In Masterton they have this fantastic park, Queen Elizabeth Park. This is another wonderful war memorial. There's just so much that you can do within Queen Elizabeth Park. Fantastic. And this is a peace memorial, peace between the Maori and the Pākehā, saying that we fulfilled the wishes of our forefathers to show peace and faith to Her Majesty the Queen. We fulfilled them by the peace and faith which exists between us and Pākehā. Queen Elizabeth Park really is something very, very special. We came here long ago with the kids. We stayed in our trailer in the campground, And the kids went for a ride on the little railway over there. But that's probably, what, 35 years ago. Very nice place. Nowadays there's a pretty fantastic children's playground. So much you can do here in Masterton's Queen Elizabeth Park.
So this is the Wairarapa River, and very, very prone to flooding. So they built this, what they call the swing bridge, but technically it's a suspension bridge. It's pretty cool.
See if I can make it swing. No, she's not going to tip over. Some pretty nice deer here right in the centre of town. And they're quite friendly. Very nice. Right in the middle of the city. There's all his family here. Perhaps Masterton's best known for being the shearing capital of the world. This is where they have the golden shears competitions for shearers. And they've got a national museum here, the National Museum of Sheep and Shearing for the wool shed, celebrating Masterton's golden shears. And now we're in Martinborough. Of course, it's very famous for its wines. The township is built around it, a little square. And they have big festivals here for wine.
They do. They have wine festivals, and they have twice a year in February and March they have the Martinborough Fair, and people come from far and wide to come to the fair, and they have it all set up all around the place with stalls.
And there are vineyards absolutely everywhere. It's winter, so they're all nicely pruned. So there are lots of places where you can buy a wine if you're so inclined. This building was built in 1894. First of all, it was the library, and now it's a museum. Sadly, it's only open at the weekends. And in the midst of all the history, they've got a lovely new town hall and town centre. Very nice. There are lots of little specialty craft shops and lots of coffee shops.
You know you're in the country when you have signs like, please take your muddy boots off.
And there's my muddy boots. This is where everybody likes to come for their coffee. Busy little place.
Good coffee too.
We've discovered that Masterton was named after Mr. Masters, Carterton was named after Mr. Carter, Greytown was named after Governor Grey. We're not sure about whether Featherston was named after Mr. Feather, and maybe Martinborough is where Martin used to live, or he had a borough here anyway, but I'm not sure about that. But these Wairarapa towns, they have names which do reflect their history. So there you are, a short break in the Wairarapa. It's been lovely to visit Featherston and Greytown, Carterton, Masterton and Martinborough. Very much a farming, whining, rural part of the country, and nice to have a short visit too. Hope you've enjoyed our video.